Okay, I think this could work. Okay, so I am going to make Cafecito, Cuban coffee. I have all this stuff here. I have to film awkwardly here, jerry-rigged a tripod because I don't know where mine is. And I've got all this stuff here. I think this should work. I didn't get the ingredients. Let me get that. Okay, so the things you'll need are, and I did also send this to you, Bailey. I think I'm gonna post this on YouTube in case anyone else asks for a tutorial, but this is dedicated to Bailey and Matt. Happy wedding. Anyways, here is the tutorial. So, I have, what you need is, the most important thing, well, this espresso machine. It's kind of an espresso machine, kind of not. It is. I don't know why I don't think it is. It's like different than a normal one with the, oh, I didn't finish cleaning. Be right back. Okay, back again with the rest of it. So this is the Imusa. Can you see this? Imusa espresso coffee maker thing. Comes with all the things you'll need. I can put a link in the description below. It's like $40 on Amazon. So you need, this is the second most important thing. There's a glare. So it's Cafe Bustelo espresso grounds. You can get them a lot of places, I think. I haven't looked around, but my cousin said he got it at Walmart. Anyways, important to have this. You can buy the can, and then you can buy, one sec. They sell these bricks, these vacuum sealed bricks. They come in like 3 to a pack, and it's 6 ounces, and this is like 10. So you basically just fill it up once this runs out, but it's nice to have the can. I learned, little back story, I learned how to make Cuban coffee from when I was on a client visit for work. One of the clients in Florida, Martha, shout out to Martha, she always made this cafecito. Well, I've only been there twice, but the first time I went in, it was the best thing I'd had. And then this last year when I went, I said, okay, you have to show me how to make this. So I forced her to show me how to make it, and now I'm gonna show you guys what she taught me. So you need the grounds, just sugar, granulated sugar, the average kind, the better. And that's it. I also have, so I have these like espresso cup things. I forget what they're called now, mixing. It's a Bell creamer. So you can look that up on Amazon. I will put everything in the description. It's literally on my phone filming. I'll put everything in the description below for easy access. And then this whisk, when I was originally taught how Martha used a spoon, you'll see what it's used for, but she used a spoon, and it just takes a lot longer to whisk up. So using a whisk makes it a lot faster. If you can get a small one, it's great. $2 on Amazon. Okay. So for the tutorial bit, it comes with this. You can see there's some lines on here. It goes air, steam, 2, 4. Martha said to fill it up, well, and this is what I do, so whatever. Fill it up just below the metal band here. It will be above the 4, but that's okay. So fill that up. And then once you have it filled up above the 4, I usually don't go right to the band because sometimes I feel like it doesn't come out good right away the first time, or like right away. So then, anyways, once you got the water, pour it in to the top here. Okay, and then close it off. Okay, so then now that you've got that, you can, you could turn it on. I'm just not going to right now because of the timing, in case something goes wrong, since I'm filming. So this has a lot of sugar in it. Sorry, but that's what makes it taste so good. So when Martha showed me how to make it, she used like a large spoon, like a tablespoon, and said do 2 heaping tablespoons, and then a little bit extra, like a quarter tablespoon. But that was just a lot of mess to get another tablespoon out and measure, so I figured out how much that is in weight, in volume, and I use the like this little espresso, I don't know, cup that you put into the machine to get the espresso. I just also use it to measure the sugar because it's theoretically, I think when I did some research, it said 1-to-1 sugar to ground ratio. But I like to do, you probably can't see this, just slightly under the 4 mark underneath in this little thing, just right underneath the 4. And I figured out sort of the sweetness that I like. Play around with it. So you can add more sugar, more sweetness, less sugar, less sweetness, obviously. And it will you will have to experiment. You might not get it right the first time. It's still a little bit wet, so the sugar is sticking. And then you basically just put it into the Bell creamer. Oh my God. Okay. Into the Bell creamer and then onto the grounds. So the grounds, you will go through pretty quickly if you make this every day. Well, and I guess, okay, I should specify, I only know the ratios to make a full little pot of this, which is like essentially 1 cup. I think it's servings, 4 servings, is about 1 cup of espresso, of Cafecito. And it's not truly, I was doing some research to figure out if it's truly espresso because the amount of grounds to water ratio is a lot smaller, or like there's more water that you put through the grounds than you would for normal espresso. So in my calculations, feel free to double check, comment below. It's about 1/2 the strength of normal espresso with the amount of grounds to water ratio that are normally in a shot of traditional espresso. Anyways, and I was saying I only know the ratios to fill the whole thing up. So I guess I could just have it. Anyways, okay, this is what I'm doing. So add in your espresso grounds to this cup, and you will pack it in. In the instructions, it doesn't say to pack it in. I do, not heavily. Don't pack really heavy. Just like tamp down slightly. Fill in the crevices. Don't overfill and don't press too hard. That's the key, because if you press too hard, it's too tightly packed and then it comes out weird. I need to frame myself better. My forehead's always out of the frame. Okay. Now that I have that, set that aside. And then this, put the coffee, espresso inside that, lock it in. And then on the machine here, I will take this and add a second screen so you can see it. I think I did my exposure lower. Let me just adjust that quickly. Okay, so on the machine here, just lock that in. You will twist, so right now it's on off. There is a steam setting and a coffee setting. So you'll go to the coffee setting and then the light will turn on. Make sure you keep this really tightened because it's highly pressurized, and then don't mess with it until you're unplugged and you're done with everything, just because it is pressurized and could explode. So then there's that. So got that locked away, and then it'll start brewing. And then I've still got my Bell creamer with sugar, and then I'm going to set it right underneath. So this is the trickiest part. This will be the part that you need the most practice for, and it's not actually that hard, but just so you're aware. So what we want with the Bell creamer with sugar, we put it right underneath because we need the first few drops of extraction from the espresso. So The tricky part is knowing how much to put into the sugar. You don't want too much so that it's too liquidy, and you don't want too little that you can't whip it up. I found like 3-ish seconds, 3 to 4 seconds, once it's dribbling out, is enough. And it'll be less than you think, because once you're whipping it together, it'll get creamier and like it'll coalesce better. And then basically we do like a switcheroo, like get the first few drops, then throw this underneath to catch the rest of it. So I'll see if I can show you the proper ratio of drops. It's really like, we'll see, and then I'll let you know if I did it good. Okay, so it's making noise. That's good. Means it'll come out soon. I really need to get more into frame, but I don't have a. Oh God. Okay, so there it is. Something like this. Let's see if that works. I think it should be good. But you basically, I don't know if you can see this, just start whisking it around. So you will think, oh my God, that's not gonna work, but just trust the process and keep whisking. Let me get back into frame. It kind of is like brown sugar consistency, a little bit like cookie batter, cookie dough, but just keep going. And the goal is to turn it into like this light, fluffy mixture. So you can see it's kind of getting there a little bit. Let me show you with the other view. So it's like right there, it's kind of like this, keep going. We want it to be a lighter color. Switch arms in case one gets tired. Keep going. If you don't have a whisk, oh, it's gonna be harder to hear me. If you don't have a whisk, it takes a lot longer, like a lot longer. And then it'll start to be like dribbling, be dribbling done. Sort of watch it to get the last few drops out. And this is where, so it'll sort of end about the line of the 4 because we put in water up to the metal piece, just above the 4. So then, and we took the first few bit and put it into here, so then it would go up to the 4 line. So then I turn it to off, and then what I like to do just to be safe is, so you turn it to the off on the dial and then unplug, because it's just highly pressurized. Better to unplug it to make sure everything's turned off. And now that I've done that, what I also like to do is just manually release the pressure. Don't know if this is allowed, but since it's turned off, I can switch it to the steam setting, which you would use to steam milk or something like that, with water still in there, but there's no water in there right now, so I'm sort of using it as a release valve. So I switch it to the steam, let it all out. And since it's turned off, the heating element is off. I also release the top of this here to let it start cooling down, switch it back to off. One time I did that steam release thing, forgot to unplug it, was on all day. Luckily nothing bad happened, but it was heating all day and came back and it was still really hot, so make sure you unplug. Okay, so once you're done whisking, it'll look like this. So see how really light this is compared to before, and it's pretty kind of stiff peaks a little bit. Doesn't have to be as like stiff, but that's sort of the consistency we're looking for. And then once you have that, you'll pour in some of the coffee. So pour in just some so we can dissolve it. I fill it up mostly full. Oh my God, I'm spilling. And then basically just incorporate. You can go slowly because it will dissolve because of how hot the coffee is. Just incorporate. And then once you've got that incorporated, dump it into the bigger pot here, and then just give that a stir, whisk that around. And that is basically it. That's how you make Cuban coffee, Cafecito. You can, like, sometimes there's a little residual sugar in here and you can pour back and forth just to get that out. I won't for now, just for the sake of the video. And then I also did send you guys this. These are the traditional cups in which Cafecito is served. And it's, you don't need it, and like when I make it for myself on the daily, I don't use these cups. But just if you are making it for other people, if you're serving to a large group, these are 3/4 ounce Cuban coffee cups. And then you basically just pour in from here. And then you've got beautiful Cuban coffee. Now I'm just thinking about things that I forgot to say earlier. So the reason that we do the sugar and then we whip up the sugar with the coffee to make it really fluffy and frothy is that's what gives it this crema, this cream on the top here. And you see espresso from a normal coffee shop would have that. But that helps the crema there and then sort of gives it a little fluffy, sweet taste. I have had issues when making this when the first few drops are like watery, like it's really light. I think that's an issue with the heating of the water, like it'll leak through. And the best thing I found is when you make it and you sort of tamp down the grounds, I think that helps any water that's gonna escape early to sort of be stopped by the grounds and just stay in the grounds. But if that happens, I usually start over. You probably don't have to, but I find that it doesn't make it as nicely because you really want the juice from the bean. You really want that first few, the drops of the actual full-fledged like coffee. So I just wanted to let you know that does happen, and that's happened to me. And you can still probably make it, but I don't think it tastes as good. Maybe it's a placebo. But anyways, that is that. And then I usually wait to take this off. One time I didn't depressurize it and I tried to take this out and it went poof, and all the grounds inside went everywhere. So make sure you depressurize before you are taking this out. And it's extremely hot. So just fair warning on that. I think that's all. I guess I'll add anything else at the end if I forgot anything. But that's how you make Cuban coffee. Cafecito. Had a lot of practice. Was just at the cabin last week and made it every day for everybody because it was so good. It's a lot of fun to bring out at parties, if you have people over, or like after dinner. If you're into coffee after dinner, so good. Make some cafecito for everyone while the night's winding down or while your evening is sort of moving on to its next chapter. Yeah, or in the morning, invite people over, have a nice morning cafecito, sit on the patio. It's really good. And these are so small that you could take them as shots. I don't think you do or should. Sipping on it's just fine. But yeah, almost forgot. You can, what I've been doing recently is making lattes. So I make this and, whoa, that was crazy. My phone just said storage full. Okay, so now I'm on my other phone. I had been doing lattes. So what you can do is you can take any milk and heat it up. When Martha, who taught me how to make this, she said she would microwave it. That's sort of the traditional Cuban coffee way. Or you could froth it if you want a frothy milk. Or it's actually, what's really good is making an iced coffee with it. So you've got your ice, pour the espresso over, pour the milk in, stir it up. It's really, really good. And it already has the sweetness to it because of all the sugar in the espresso. So you don't need to add much sugar or flavoring to it. It's fantastic. Okay, so I wanted to add one thing when I was watching it back that, so the strength is approximately half strength of espresso. And normally an espresso shot is like 1 to 1.5 ounces of liquid. So theoretically, when you're, I've got to stop moving this. Theoretically, when you're drinking those small cups, those 3/4 ounce cups, you can sort of have 4 of those would equal 1 shot of espresso, approximately, as far as caffeine. Because I know sometimes I've served it to people and they have like 1 little sip of the 3/4 and go, oh, that's enough. And I'll go, it's actually not. If that's all the caffeine that you're having today, you're gonna want some more. Just because the flavor is so intense that you may think it's a lot, even though it isn't. So you can have a lot. I normally drink like from the 4 line to like the steam line. Sorry, I can't think of what that's called. So it's not like the bottom. It's essentially, I don't know if it divides into thirds. I don't really understand the markings there because it goes 4 to steam. But that's like how much in a day, and that's like, I guess if I'm trying to figure out the math, 2/3 of a cup, 2/3 cup. Anyways, divided by 2, 1/3 cup. Hey Siri, what's 1/3 cup in ounces?
0.33 cups is 2.67 fluid ounces.
Okay, so 2.67 fluid ounces, that's just about 2 shots of espresso. So do with that what you will. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully this end isn't too shaky with my hand. Let me know if you liked it, add your comments below. Bye.